Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and today I got the Adapt BB 2.0 in. So this shoe goes for $400 freaking dollars. Plus tax is probably like what, $430, $440 or something like that. It's super expensive. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. It's still available. So these are my first impressions. I just got them in today and I'm gonna play in them tonight, or probably like right after I finish filming. So I'm pretty excited for that. So before we start, let's go over the things that come inside the box. Actually, the box is very, very large. So you have this little flap right here. The shoes come in here, the charging port comes in here, and then the wireless Qi charging pad comes underneath the shoes. And then of course, it comes with the wireless pad. So it says here Nike Adapt Charger 1.0. It's quite large and you can obviously fit both shoes on. And then here's a charging brick, and the cord is, I would say around 4 feet, 4.5 feet around there. And it's a USB-C charging port, so you just connect this to the pad, and then you just set your shoes on and then you charge it. And then when you charge it, the lights come on here, which is pretty cool. So now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get it started off with the traction. So can you go any more translucent than this outsole? I don't think you can. The pattern is basically a herringbone. It's modified herringbone if you get into the midfoot area. As you can see, the forefoot has this circle, which basically outlines the Zoom Turbo unit. And everything else is this icy blue translucent outsole. The rubber is very, very soft and pliable. So I don't know how durability is going to be, but the grooves are very deep. So I don't know, we'll have to see. Obviously, I'm going to have to try them and see how the durability is. But as of right now, I feel like they'll be okay. And trying these shoes on my wood floors, they bite like crazy. It has a really, really loud squeak as well. So I'm very excited to play in these actually. I think traction is going to be good, but we'll have to see on dust though. I mean, as you guys know, translucent outsoles usually don't do too well on dust. As far as the heel to toe transition goes, I mean, it looks pretty smooth. You have, I mean, in the heel, you have this cushion and the outsole protruding out a little bit, and it does curve up significantly, so it's pretty smooth here in the heel, and there's a good amount of heel compression as well. And the forefoot has a nice curved shape too, so heel to toe transition seems very smooth. The only problem is that the forefoot isn't very flexible, you know, so that doesn't really help with heel to toe transition, but the shape and I guess the heel compression helps it a lot. Moving on to the cushion, the foam, we actually don't know what it is. All it says on Nike's website is that it's just a soft foam. So I'm guessing it's just a Phylon, but it feels pretty soft. It's really, really thick, and court feel doesn't seem too good, but there's a good amount of compression in the heel, and there's a little bit of bounce as well. It's not like mushy and too soft. And of course here in the forefoot, it says Turbo Zoom here on the lateral side, and obviously this red part is probably the outlining of the Zoom Turbo unit. And we're pretty familiar with Zoom Turbo. They've used it in the Kyrie 5 as well as in the Kyrie 6. I can't really feel the zoom too much right now. For me, in my experience, I've needed to break it in, so I'm guessing that's what I'm going to need to do in this shoe. But the overall cushion seems pretty damn nice. I do miss the Cushlon midsole. That cushion was really, really nice in the first Adapt BBs, but I'm actually not mad at this. The only thing I don't like right now is the court feel doesn't seem too good, but that's about it. Alright, moving on to the materials. Nike said they're using moldable TPU yarns, and it feels very, very thin, but also really plasticky. And I was walking around in this shoe, and then you know when you're walking, obviously your foot flexes here in the forefoot. The material was digging into my foot and it was pretty painful. Like, it's so stiff and flimsy feeling, you know? And I'm not a fan of these materials at all. I feel like it's gonna break in though, because it's just so thin. And they say it's a moldable TPU yarn, so I'm sure it's supposed to like mold to the shape of your foot. But as of right now, I don't really like it. And then here in the back, they're using really, really crappy suede materials. I mean, for a $400 shoe, I'm expecting pretty nice materials, right? Even though they're using the latest technology, I still want nice materials. So the material choice is not good here in the back. It's not a huge deal though, because like it's in the back, you're not gonna feel it. But I still think they should have used a nicer quality suede. And then here in the back, you have the craziest TPU heel counter ever. I mean, this thing is thick. She thick, dog. I mean, like, you have this little point here, and then you have this little pull tab thing. I don't really know what this is supposed to do, because it's not connected to this heel tab. So like, you can't pull on this because the heel tab is already like, it's super stiff. So like, if you pull on it, it doesn't pull on this like a regular pull tab is supposed to do. So I don't really know what this, like, there's no point in this. And it just takes up weight and makes it feel really bulky, which we'll get into in weight. So materials right now, I'm pretty disappointed in. but I have hope that it's gonna break in and get soft. Moving on to the fit is actually pretty good. I went true to size, and lengthwise I was okay, and widthwise I would say it's a normal width, maybe even a touch narrow. And then for the toe area, I'd say it's pretty damn snug. So if you have a wide foot or you don't really like to have a tight fit in the toe area, you should probably go up half a size or maybe even a full size. And this shoe is really easy to put on. I remember the first Adapt BBs were pretty difficult to put on at first. Once you broke it in and the materials got a little bit stretchier, it got a lot easier. But of course there is this tongue, and it opens up, like look at how much it opens up. So you just slide your foot in and then the shoe tightens up automatically, which is really cool. And then there is a crazy, I would say too much padding in the shoe. Like the tongue is really nice. The tongue is very well padded. It feels comfortable. But here in the ankle area, it's just so much padding. I mean, it makes the shoe feel comfortable, but also I feel like it makes it feel a little bit too bulky. But of course, if you like a really cozy, comfortable shoe, then obviously that's a good option. But for me personally, I don't really like it as much. So now let's go over the Fit Adapt technology in this shoe. So they didn't really change much from the last iteration. You know, you still have 2 buttons here on the lateral side. So I feel like they didn't really make a lot of improvements. I feel like they just made a new design and a new shoe. Like the actual Fit Adapt system didn't change all too much. So when you slide the shoe on, I believe there's a sensor here in the heel where it senses your weight and then it automatically tightens to your preferred tightness, which you can adjust in the app, which is very, very cool. You know, you don't have to tighten any laces or anything. But for me, it's a little inconsistent. Like sometimes I put on the shoe and nothing happens. And I have to wait like 10-20 seconds, or I just have to start walking around in them for it to notice, and then it'll start tightening. And other times it'll work nicely. And obviously for the buttons, plus is to tighten the shoe and minus is to loosen it. If you hold either button for more than 2 to 3 seconds, it either tightens all the way or loosens all the way, which I like. You know, you don't have to keep holding the button to loosen it all the way. And also another cool thing is you can pair it with Siri. So watch. Hey Siri, tighten my shoes.
Okay. Adapt says your shoes are tightened.
What the? Okay, that was a very fast tighten. What happened? What the? Okay, so it says it tightens in 5% increments, which is kind of weird, but you can adjust the light, you can adjust the tightness just from Siri, which is really cool. So let's go over the app. So once you get the shoe, you can download the app on the App Store, and then you have to pair both the left and right shoe individually, and you can choose your modes. So on the bottom here, so on the bottom left, if you click it, it says, you know, there's a game mode and then there's a rest mode. So obviously game mode, you want a little bit tighter, and for rest mode, you want a little bit looser if you're just casually walking around. And of course, you can adjust the colors if you would like. I just like the blue. It's a cool color. And then you can read your battery percentage, which I think is very, very helpful. You don't want to go out to play and then have 0 battery in your shoe, so you aren't able to play. And then the L and R, the L obviously tightens and loosens your left shoe. Like if I, you know, there we go. And it's still really loud. It's the same volume as the last version, and I don't think they made the shoe tighten any faster. It feels like it's pretty much the same, so that kind of sucks. It would have been cool if it was just like instant, you know, in 1 second it tightens, but that's kind of unreasonable, right? Alright, let's move on to the weight of the shoe. I mean, yeah, this shoe doesn't feel light at all. It feels pretty damn heavy. I feel like it's gonna be like 15-16 ounces. Oh, yo, this has to be the heaviest shoe ever, dude. Okay, so it's 18.55 ounces, which is insane. I've never had a shoe that heavy. Like, not even old school Jordans are this heavy. I can't think of, like, foam posits. Let me go get my foam posits. I got my foams. These are probably like 15-16 ounces. 17 ounces. These are heavier than the freaking foams, guys. Oh my. And let me read you what Nike says on their site about this shoe on the weight. So it says lightweight locking. The shoe's upper consists of moldable TPU yarns, making it incredibly light and supportive. Which I agree, this material is really thin, and I would think it would be very light if it wasn't for all this plastic and obviously the Fit Adapt system. So I mean, no, this is not light. It feels heavy. It feels pretty damn bulky as well. So yeah, those were the 2 things that I wanted fixed, or I guess improved upon from the last model. I wanted it to be lighter, and I wanted the laces to tighten up quicker. And I don't really think they improved upon any of that. So from a design standpoint, I don't really understand what they were trying to do with all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, like with this plastic, and I guess they do need to improve on, I guess, making the entire, like the gears and all that, the battery, they need to make it lighter because this shoe is really heavy. As far as the aesthetics go, I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I don't really like it as much as the first one. Like the back, this just looks weird. You know, I feel like they should redesign this if they can, but not a huge fan of the back. I guess the front of the shoe is a little bit better looking. Tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So for my first impressions, I mean, I hate these because, you know, I really like the fit adapt system. It's really cool. You can automatically tighten the shoes. You just slip it on. You don't have to worry about it. And then you can adjust the tightness when you're playing. You don't have to loosen your laces all the way and then tighten it back up. Because shoes do tend to loosen up, you know, when you're playing a game. So I love the system, but it's like, it's too heavy. Like the traction seems good, the cushion seems good. The materials, like I said, not very nice, especially for a $400 shoe. I also really like this 3M touch. 3M is kind of cool. It covers the entire tongue. But we'll have to see. You know, I'm going to play in them, and performance review will be coming soon. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.